Hello everyone, I would like to share with you today the snow mountain painting method of my oil pastel work. First of all, we need to distinguish the sun and shade of this snow-capped mountain. That's the bright side and the dark side. And we started with pencil sketches. We all start with a pencil. Outline the broad outline of this snow-capped mountain. At the same time, you can also understand the different shapes of snow-capped mountains and the relationship between each of its mountains and mountains between them. Then the outline of our snow-capped mountain is roughly completed. Then we have to determine where the light is coming from. So on which faces, those are glossy. The backlit side is the dark side. Our sun should be here. Shine on these places. Then these areas are the highlight. What about the other side? We draw it with a pencil. When we come to painting later, we can base our work on the shadow areas we have just sketched out and paint with color. Then we need to take out these four colors. Differentiate, draw their dark side. Because the shadow side is divided into the darkest and the secondary shadow side, so not all shadows are depicted in black. Certain darker aspects require the use of that deep purple and gray to be displayed. First, we outline the secondary shadows. We can use this light gray and dark gray. There is also purple for depiction. We can paint the darkest side first. We use a darker color. Then the mountain here is closer to our sun. Therefore, its dark side is comparatively less dark. Then we change it to a lighter gray to paint its dark side. Because the mountains here are so exposed to more light, so it's not quite as dark. And this side away from light source. Therefore, this side of the surface is darker. And then the darkest mountains, it will also be brighter. So we can also use a slightly brighter gray to apply. And then there are some dark sides of the mountain. It's reflected with a height of purple. For the color of the sky will be reflected. It is also a little bit of embellishment. Apply evenly using a blending brush. Next, we should delineate some deeper areas. To denote the color of the plant, accents of grass greens are used. The section near the mountains is obscured by the snow-capped peaks. So the color it appears is also darker. It can be depicted in gray. Because the plant near the mountain will see more clear, so it will have a little green color. At this time, what about the connection between the near mountain and the far mountain? We can use the rub-on pen to knead in the direction of the mountain. Well, the two colors will echo a little bit. Now, this is very natural. We want to highlight the bright side of the mountain. We need to add some color to the sky. If anyone is interested, I will show you that in the next episode. Let's start by painting the color of the sky. Then the color of the sky is roughly drawn. The bright and dark side of the mountain have now been revealed. It's now necessary to enhance both its dark and bright aspects. I will use white first. Paint the bright sides of these mountains. We polish the glossy surface and then rub it. Its bright surface will not be so obtrusive. You have to paint the brighter side with a little white. We rub it again. Okay, what about this time? You will find its dark side. It's like it's gone. At this time, we have to continue to draw the mountain. We can use this scraper to paint the shore of the mountain. We can use a darker black. Take out the scraper. This is done with this smooth edge. Gently scrape a layer. Just a little bit. Then gently on this mountain to rub out the color. And when we shave, it should be scraped along the lines of the mountain. Because the nearby mountains are more obvious, so it is necessary to depict the texture of each mountain. What about the other mountains in the distance? Because it's blurrier, so it can be less obvious than the description. Now let's move on to a darker gray. Go ahead and paint the dark side of these mountains. We continue to paint his glossy side in white. We don't just use oil painting sticks to paint the glossy side, but like just now, we gave it a glossy finish with a spatula. We start by gently scraping a layer of white. The summit is closer to the light source. Therefore, their glossy surfaces are more prominent. What we do now is we go deeper into the dark side of these mountains. Make this mountain more three-dimensional. We use dot painting to paint the black. Then we rub it with a rubbing pen. In fact, the painting of mountains and snow-capped mountains is to repeatedly stack its dark side with its bright side. Then, let its three-dimensional sense continue to be enhanced. What about highlighting the distant mountains? The mountains will be darker green. We now use green as the environmental color. Is the color of the snow-capped mountains more varied now? Our snow mountain painting tutorial concludes here. Welcome to watch. If so, which drawing tutorials do you want to watch? Welcome to leave me a message.